and welcome back to Ashley Life. In today's class, I'm going to show you how to set your makeup so it lasts all day. So the question I've been hearing a lot lately is, how do you set your foundation? How do you make your makeup last all day? Just like various variations of that. So I thought we'd take a deep dive into what I do to make my makeup last a pretty darn long time. And I think the way that I set my foundation and do my foundation, it's a lot different than a lot of people out there. And I think that's why it lasts so long and it looks pretty natural. Like if you were to see me like up close in person, I don't think you'd ever say my makeup looks like super cakey. Yes, I love to do fun eyes and I do a lot of fun lips, but in general, like overall, I don't look cakey, and that's what I like about my makeup. So I wanted to show you kind of what I do to make a long-lasting but coverage foundation. And it all kind of starts with what I actually use for foundation, but we'll get into that right now. So I'm starting off with a light foundation already on, and if you don't know, I actually make my own foundation out of 4 different things. So if you've never seen that class, you should probably go watch that. I'll put the link in the description so you could go check it out, because that is not what today's class is about. Today's class is about how I set my makeup. And so while I have this light foundation on, I thought I'd also show you how I conceal. Now, I don't think I conceal like most people conceal. I do a very light foundation. Like I said, I use 4 different things. I take the lightest foundation that I use to actually be my concealer. I'll show you what I do. It's pretty simple. I don't even pump it out. Like you could pump it out if you want to, but honestly, I just unscrew the cap and I just place it where I want to conceal. Basically the highlight areas, a little bit under the eyes, the chin, and then just like a little bit on the forehead. And then from here, go ahead, use a beauty blender if you'd like, if that's something you love to do. Honestly, I just use my finger because I don't have to wash it. I mean, I have to wash it, but I don't have to like deal with the sponge that I have to wash every so often. Like I'm obviously gonna wash my hands, so I just don't have to wash an extra thing. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, but use whatever you feel comfortable with. But I just blend it in and I use this tapping motion because I want it to stay a little bit thick. So when I mix my foundation, I like the lightness of it. I like that it's a thin layer. But when you conceal, you want to cover things. That's the whole point of a concealer. So I try to keep it a little bit thicker on the places I want to conceal. But again, just notice the dabbing motion that I'm doing. And I like to bring it up past the eye right here. And it kind of acts as like a defining highlight area. I'm already like getting my highlighter started, if you will. And then I also go down to almost this like V shape. You never want like this circle of concealer because that's like super obvious and it shows up so much in photos. If you do that, you just don't want to do that. So I always bring it down into this V, almost like a check mark. It's a check mark. Do a check mark with your concealer. I like that. I've never really talked about it out loud, so I never really thought about like the shape I'm making, but it's pretty much a check mark. And then by the nose right here, I just blend it in. And this I almost do like a triangle facing down. That's where I want that highlight to go. Always dabbing. And then I always do whatever residual is left on my fingers, a little bit under the nose, just because that's where I tend to get just like a little bit red. And also what you can do, and I do sometimes, I don't do it all the time, but I do it sometimes, you can also bring the concealer up with the brow bone, just to start that highlight there as well. There we go. And now I always wash my hands. So I'll be right back. I'm back. I always set my foundation at this point. It really helps my makeup last through the whole day. If you're doing your makeup and you're putting on foundation and you're not setting it and your makeup is not lasting, that might be why your makeup's not lasting. You have to give it a really good base. Something for that makeup to hold on to, really. And I do a lot of makeup on other people. I do this on myself as well. And honestly, I can do my makeup at 8 in the morning and it looks still pretty awesome at 10 at night. And when I see brides or I work with brides and I see that, you know, they start crying or they start whatever, like honestly, the makeup goes nowhere. They can like shed tears and they just have to like pat it down and the makeup is still like looking really good. Not even joking. So the setting foundation that I really love to use is the NYX Mineral Matte Foundation. This stuff is awesome. I get mine in light medium. There's also a little bit darker tone as well, but it's just wonderful. Now be careful when you go to the store because they also have a like high definition powder and they look super similar and it's super easy to like accidentally grab that one instead of this one. But believe me, this holds your makeup so much better. It's just different. And so this just works a lot better for me. So I just usually tap a little powder out and I put it in the lid. Ooh. And then again, just using a tapping motion, I just get a little bit of, and then whenever I go around the nose, I make sure to hold my breath and close my eyes, I guess. And where it really matters is under the eyes. So I usually get a lot on the brush and I kind of just push it in. I'm not dusting. I guess this is my version of baking. And then you can kind of just dust it over the rest of the face. I do it over the eyelids as well because that acts as my eyeshadow primer. I actually don't use an eyeshadow primer because I kind of make my own. And then once you've pressed in everywhere else, you can kind of dust everywhere. And then you're good to go to do the rest. Okay, so before my makeup is actually fully done, there is a point in my makeup where I actually set my face again with another powder, and I also think this is something that helps my makeup last throughout the day, so I obviously had to share it with you real quick. So right now, let me tell you what I have on. I have my Make My Own foundation. I have my concealer. I set that with the NYX powder, and then I did my easy contouring, which was a powder contour, which also I have a class for, and then I did eyeshadow, and that is it. So what I do at this point is I take my Physicians Formula translucent powder, which is almost gone and I need a new one because that's how much I use it, and I go over my face real quick. So this also helps dust off any fallout I had from eyeshadow, just dust away, and this also blends in my contouring and my eyeshadow, making my face just like come together. So watch the magic. So I don't go over the contour really, but I go around it, which kind of blends it, if that makes any sense. And as you can see, it's much more blended together. My under eyes have really just like opened up and popped with just like a brightness. I love this translucent powder. It is my go-to. And when I am freshening up my makeup, you know, hours later in the day, I usually just dust a little bit of this under the eyes and you're good to go again. And maybe just add a little mascara when I'm freshening up. Okay, for reals, back to me, full face makeup. Now I'm finished with my makeup, and of course I had to add just a little bit of glitter since it is the year of glitter. And the last thing that I actually did, so there's the first setting that I did with the NYX powder, then I set it again with the Physicians Formula, and I really think there is something to the first one being a loose powder and the second one being a hard powder. I actually recently just went to the store and I got some different things that aren't NYX and aren't Physicians Formula, and I'm going to test those out to see if they work kind of the same, because NYX and Physicians Formula, they're not like all that expensive, but they're a little bit on the mid-pricey side. You know, I'm always trying to see if there's a more cost-effective way to do my makeup at all times, because I also want it to be cost-effective for you, because I don't think you should have to spend a lot to look good to look good. Let's just say that. So the third thing that I do to help my makeup last longer is I set it with a setting spray, and I just use e.l.f.'s Mist and Set. It works really, really great. It just feels really good, and it brings everything back to life. If anything's looking a little powdery, just sprays it away. So I hope this little deep dive into how to set your makeup has helped you or given you some inspiration. If you have any questions, like always, please put them in the comments below. Feel free to email me at ashleyyoulife@gmail.com. I always get back to everyone, and I love answering questions. If you have any classes that you would like to see in the future, let me know that too. Make sure to like and share so other people can like and share, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next class. I have a few funny bloopers to show you today, but before I get to that, I just want to make sure that if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because that's what lets you know when I upload a new class. Because right now, YouTube has kind of changed their format just a little bit, so it's harder and harder for us to let you know when we upload videos. So if you hit that bell, it makes sure you know, and so that you don't miss a thing. And also, so the more thumbs up a video gets, the more that YouTube pushes it out there and tries to get it in front of more eyes, because it knows people are liking it. So please give this video a thumbs up. Now, we'll get to some of my bloopers. The camera just decided to move on me there. So the question I've been hearing a lot lately. So the question I've been hearing a lot lately. Okay. So the question I've been hearing a lot lately is, I love this translucent powder. It is my go-to. I just like threw it and caught it.